Ladies and gentlemen, it's been quite some time since we've had one of these. As you can see by Donatello's reaction, uh, things ain't going great in the world. I'm just gonna hit the fan right quick. Turn that off. And yeah, have myself a seat. So we're back now. Welcome to what is the first and hopefully many mental health streams. Today I'm wearing my Snuggie because, well, mostly because it's a little chilly, but also because it's comfortable. And when you start new things, even if you've done it before, it's important to find something comfortable to do. I also got Donatello having my back, in case you ain't seen that. That's the good stuff right there. But since it's just me, I'm just gonna jump right into it and talk about today's topic, which is catching up, which is gonna come in a couple phases. The first one is gonna be me catching up with you, telling you what's been going on, like things like that. The second part is the importance of catching up with people around you, and then I guess we're going to end on the importance of having people around you. I think that's going to be one of the more important parts. Let me make sure my fuck. Of course, I leave the remote all the way up there. With my necromantic wizard's gown. uh, I forgot what the fuck I was gonna do with this thing anyway. But yeah. Oh, check my sound. That's right. I got the crackling in the back. There we go. I should sound fine. All right, to start, catching up with me. You know what? I should have brought the sleep. You know what? Doesn't matter. Uh, it's been a few years. I think it's important to start with the reason why it's been so long, and that is we got our oldest official diagnosis of severe autism, and initially, I oh, initially I turned against myself with that. I made it my fault. I made it a problem rather than just what it is, which is just what it is. It's not a problem. It just simply is. And I didn't understand, and I just turned to my umbrella emotion, which, as we've spoken about, is anger for me. Get a little more comfortable here. So yeah, but once I got past the anger, I knew the important thing was to just focus on it. That's why I've basically only done like D&D stuff for posterity. I don't really um like advertise or care about that kind of thing. It's fun to do. It's a skill I've learned, so I like to keep it up. But it's not. Yeah, it's not like the be all end all. But yeah. So I've just mostly been focusing on Olkanashine and Killian, which are my sons. Both of which are on the spectrum. Olkanashine is in the harsh, like the very severe nonverbal section of autism, where it's hard to communicate. Well, it was hard to communicate, but we can communicate with each other. But he has a hard time communicating with people who don't understand him. That's really what it comes down to. And Killian's just the world's angriest baby. He was the world's angriest infant, then he was the world's angriest toddler. Now he's the world's angriest whatever. Wait, I think he's still a toddler. I don't know, but he's the world's angriest version of it. And honestly, being a father has been kind of the most important thing I could be doing. And I spend a lot of days just talking with Okanashin as best I can, like learning each other, understanding each other. It's really what any autism parent does. They spend all of themselves to understand even a pittance of what their child wishes to express. And I'll tell you that's draining and rough, but I'll also tell you it's rewarding. It's not easy. Uh, fuck. Me and my wife do like marriage counseling now, or couples counseling, whatever you want to say. Just because shit gets wrinkly after 15 years. It's not really anything to be ashamed of. Like, life happens for everybody. It's not something that any one person can avoid. So, having a third party just to kind of listen and be like, all right, you know that's bullshit, and you know that's bullshit. That's really all it is. Other people need different things, but for us, it's really just a mediator. We communicate well, but we get passionate. We get passionate. We're passionate people with passion. I'm trying to keep that up. But yeah, really hasn't been a lot going on, which is kind of the hard part, because so much of your life revolves around your children. You lose a sense of who you are, and I definitely felt that. And then there's this bullshit like male loneliness epidemic, and I get that. I understand it in concept and in like emotion, because God knows I'm lonely as hell. But it's how the loneliness gets turned and used as a weapon against anybody else except for like it. You suck. We'll get in on that later in a different one, but like sometimes people got to be better. Who you are in this moment may not be the best version of yourself, and the person you're meant to be with may not meant to be with this version of you. Is really what it comes down to. That's what I learned. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about me and catching up, and how I like to avoid any kind of emotional honesty. Uh, Sometimes it's out of fear. I think that's a big thing people don't talk about, is that emotional honesty comes with a level of fear that people don't rightly appreciate. And when people can't do it, it's generally because they're a coward. Like, they have so many reasons. But the truth is, most people are scared of what they feel now because they've never been taught to properly deal with it. And that leads us to the next point, which is super simple. Sometimes you need people to to be around. The loneliness epidemic doesn't need to be physical. I have friends all over the world, and that helps feed my soul. But at the end of the day, sometimes after a hard day, I just wish I could have somebody on the couch playing video games with me. That's not my wife. She's amazing. The fuck? Sorry, I thought I heard something. And I'm not even doing. I'm literally putting this up as I go, because I want the first one, to be honest, for people to see. Like, this is just what it is. This is going to be mental health. My hope is I have people that join me, and we can all talk and feed off each other, and we all tell about the things that are, that have fucking plagued us. I mean, we're at war. Where I'm from in America, we are at war, technically. And it's weird that it just feels like a Monday. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be that way. I don't think in the course of history we've been like, well, we're bombing another country, and people are like, yeah, but are the buses running on time though? Like, there's been some kind of fervor to it. Probably not from the most poor or black people, to be fair. So yeah, that tracks. I don't know. Just it feels crazy to be at war for like I think the third time in my life. Like my uncle was in Desert Storm. I know that. So there's that. I think that was in my lifetime. I don't know. It's crazy that wars are going on right now, and no, like, it's just so fucking weird. It's surreal. I think surreal is the word, and it's making me realize the exact complacency that I myself am at, and I kind of need to like catch up with that, like catch up to myself in this aspect because we shouldn't be apathetic about it. Like I'm I'm one of those people that really like my loves America. I do. And in a lot of ways I'm one of those like America first kind of people, but I still see it on a global scale, not just like America first. That means you give Americans everything before. Like, no, because Americans need this, and they happen to have a lot of this that we could use. So, like, why don't we get like? There's a lot of stuff. I don't know why I'm rambling. Probably because I don't want to talk about my real feelings and how it's hard to catch up with people and be honest when they're not there. Even my best friends have like uh, uh fuck, and this is something me and my wife always fight about. Even my best friends have like a 1/8 understanding of my life because I'm just so programmed not to speak ill of my wife. Like I don't. I believe it's disrespectful. I don't like it when I hear other people talk about their spouse that way, so I don't talk about mine that way. Like it's a slippery slope because once you start doing it to one person, you're gonna start screaming it to every person. Then you're gonna start screaming it at the person. I've seen it a bajillion times, and I'm just not gonna feed into that shit. That is my goal because it's so easy to get caught up in anger, and that's what I've been doing. I've just kind of like been trying to understand where all my anger not understand. I know where it comes from. I'm an unadopted orphan who came up through the system in ways like only people who are reading the Epstein files can really fucking understand. Like that's really all I got to say about that. So there's a lot of feelings that are coming up for a lot of reasons, and I'm trying. The purpose of growth is to not hurt those around you with your past. You know what I mean? To not use the past as a cudgel for your future. I don't believe that that's, especially when you have kids. So, like, it's fucked up that I don't talk to anyone. Even in therapy, I'm guarded and selective, and as I said earlier, a fucking coward. I've somehow become afraid of my own feelings, afraid to understand the person that I am because it's not the person that I wanted to be. Like a midlife crisis is a midlife crisis. I'm 40 years old now. It's all right. These things was coming. I was never meant to make it this far, so these are things, but catching up with who you are versus who you thought you'd be or what you think you are, because for most people who you think you are is not who you actually are. You think you're a lot cooler, a lot smoother, a lot better, and honestly, if you got good people in your corner and they like help you believe that shit, then you got it. Like you ain't got to be good, but you got to have good people around you. You know what I mean? But there also comes time for personal inventory and for like personal accountability, radical accountability, radical accountability. Like, I don't want to say like to punish yourself or like self harm because that's fuck no. Like, and self harm could be emotional, and which is what I meant in this case, not physical. So it's just a hard thing to do, to look at yourself, take real genuine stock of the kind of person you want to be, the kind of person you are, like decisions that you've made that you're like that you would rather ignore. Like I heard a line on shrinking that I've been trying to instill in myself. That's you don't know if a decision is good or bad until you make it. You how it plays out is how it plays out, and that's what makes a decision good or bad. But you can't live in a future that isn't real, or stuck in a past that or use the past as a reason not to go forward. So a decision is a decision is a decision, and it's easy to forget to take accountability if you don't have people around you. Like I am fortunate enough that the people that I love and care about me in a way that sometimes I don't like. Like, I'll be honest, I don't like always being called on my shit, but at the same time, shouldn't I be? Shouldn't the people that love us the most be the most willing to tell that was stupid? What did you do that for? Why did you do that? A few years ago, I lost a person that really helped me with that. He was kind of like a father figure. His name was Ilk Johnny because he used to go always walk around going, ew. Just we know when he was close because he would just be like, ew. It's probably dumb, but it's one of those things from when I first got out of the homes that I don't know, I'm comforted. But when he passed, it felt like I wasn't. I don't know. Like I had lost that. And I've had friends that have stepped up. I've had really good friends who have kept my head in a place where it should be and not a place where I'd sometimes go because I'd be getting ahead of myself. And it's good to have friends that hold you accountable to not just reality, but even optimistic reality. Like, you could have some friends that are like, listen, you're no Sinatra, but you could be a Mel Torme. Not everybody's Sinatra, and that's okay. But I think I'll definitely say one of the problems is who people surround themselves with, and everybody's just, maybe I'm old, but just feels like makeshift. We got Machiavelli at home. Like everybody's trying to seem smarter than they are to take advantage of someone else so that they can validate some insecurity they have about themselves. And I was done with that half a decade ago, probably more. And now I'm just like, if I see it, it's a walk away. Like right away. No questions asked. What else? I don't want this to be a discussion on autism parenting. I don't want to delve into that too much, but that's basically really all I've been doing for the catching up portion. Like I've built a strong community of friends who I lie to on a daily basis by omission. You know what I mean? And it's definitely my own fault. Let me look up one of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite fucking quotes. It's from Oscar Wilde. Let me look it up. It is phenomenal. Yep, quote about friends. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Here it is. If a friend of mine gave a feast and did not invite me to it, I should not mind a bit. But if a friend of mine had a sorrow and refused to allow me to share it, I would feel it most bitterly. If he shut the door of the house of mourning against me, I would move back again and beg to be admitted, so that I might share in what I was entitled to share. If he thought me unworthy, unfit to weep with him, I should feel it as the most poignant humiliation. And sometimes that quote makes me feel like I humiliate my friends, because I do keep my mourning to myself. This is the first year in I don't know how long that someone hasn't died so far. I've gone maybe 2 months in the last decade where an old friend or a close friend hasn't passed away. And it's been fucked. But I don't know how, I want to grieve publicly. I just don't have the words. I'm one of those people who wishes they could be as emotionally, communicatively fluid and fluent as some other people. My friend Sage, who many of you know, I am forever in awe and jealous of the way they're able to encapsulate how they feel, communicate that, set that boundary, and be okay with that boundary. I suck at that. I've become a fucking people pleaser because I just don't have enough people around, so I let people treat me like shit sometimes. It's what depression does. I'm not here to make something look pretty. I'm here to talk at you for an hour, let you know what the fuck's going up, leave you with something to think about. That's what the fuck I'm gonna do. And a lot of this is rambling. I may stop early because I don't specifically know where this is going, how it's gonna play out, what it's gonna anything. But you never start anything if you don't start anything. And I've been finding reasons to put this off for a long time. And I figure if I'm just gonna start it, I'm just gonna start it. So this is me catching y'all up. This is me telling you what's been going on in this past decade. It's a lot of grief, a lot of mourning, a lot of learning, a lot of finding out that you're lost. It's hard. It's hard when you think you know exactly where you are and you're not wrong, but exactly where you are is exactly lost. Like, I'm right here on this map, but do you know where anything around you is to help you to safety or anything like that on this map? Nah, but I know I'm right here. You know what I mean? That's how depression and mental health work. Sometimes you know right exactly where you are. You just don't know what's around you to help you. And I guess part of this is to say that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you by helping myself, you know what I mean? By getting this ugliness out, by letting everybody know that it's okay to talk like this, to talk about yourself in a way that makes you feel weak or afraid or powerless, because God knows all that trifecta is going around. All right, it was whipping through everything you've ever held dear. All right, it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. But the fact remains, this is a crazy time, and to deny that you feel is tantamount to putting your head in the sand and saying, I'm too big a bitch for this. I'm too big a bitch for me. And how the fuck you gonna be too big a bitch for yourself? It don't make no sense. You know? And right now I'm being a big old bitch about me. A big old coward. because I've spent years focusing on someone else so I don't have to focus on myself and what all these new changes mean for me, because I didn't have to. I could just focus on my kids, which has been my dream. Not many people know this, but all I've ever wanted to be is a good dad. So, and you may think that's an easy goal, but I promise you it's fucking not. I do take it really seriously. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to be. And it is the hardest thing, for sure. But, yeah. That is me rambling about what's going on for half an hour. I hope if you make it to the end of this, you just comment. Leave something that's been bugging you. Leave a little piece of whatever is eating you in the comments. Don't subscribe. You ain't got to do none of that shit. I don't give a fuck. That's never been what this is about. But I hope you leave something, even if it's like under a burner account or you switch something. Like, I hope this gives you a little courage to go and start the change. Like, for me, this is that. Getting back to mental health streams, which will probably be my Mondays, are going to be a huge part of it. I think going forward, Mental Health Monday is going to be the whole vibe. It might be later in the day, it might be earlier. It really depends. If I have a special guest, it's really up to them. But I think it's going to be important for me going forward to do this. I know I said there was going to be 3 steps and shit earlier in this, but I changed my mind halfway through because that's what the fuck I'm going to do. This is really about learning to love yourself for who you are. We're going to figure that shit out. I hope together, but I'll be damned if I don't do it alone regardless. And y'all going to see the process. Y'all going to be here. So I hope you stop in. I hope when you see these, you're like, hey, I can just vent this little thing and it's okay. And if you got a big thing, penny tree, or, you know what I'm talking about. But if you got a big issue you want to speak on or have big thoughts on, let me know. We can chop it up. We can have our own discussion about it. These used to be group discussions when I had a group to discuss things with. But times have changed and like people drift apart after nearly a decade. Ain't nothing to it. But I just want everybody to know that the mental health streams are coming back. I've spent a lot of time being a dad, being a husband, but now it's time to get back to being me. And I think the thing I miss most is talking with people and feeling like I helped them. So that's what I'm going to get back to doing. So yeah, this is crazy rambling thing, but long and short of it is I'm back, baby. And I'll be dressed properly next time and I'll be acting appropriately, but I just wanted to let y'all know that yeah, I'm back. We're doing this and I hope you're here for the ride because that's important too. You gotta, yeah. I don't know what you gotta do. I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say with that one. All right. I haven't done this in forever. So I'm just gonna say goodbye. I'm not gonna leave with any soliloquies. This whole thing has been dumb. And I regret doing it the minute I started, but that's what fear does. So I'm just going to put this up as is and hope it gets better and better as it goes. I'll plan ahead. I honestly Like this morning was like, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what the fuck I'm gonna do? And then I did it. So here we are. And there we go. So this is Captain Valen once again reminding everyone that life happens in every direction. So let's be kind to those around us and let's move forward stronger.